What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, got a cool video for you today with an interesting update. Walmart joins corporate coin bandwagon and files patent for stablecoin. So what I want to do is break down the article for you guys and add a little bit of insight as to what this means and kind of and see what kind of information we get from the article. So corporate coins are coming if you're tired of the trend already. Sorry, there's nothing you can do about it except buy Bitcoin. That's funny. Perhaps spurred by Facebook's jolting news that's developing its own currency, Walmart's following suit. The colossal retailer has filed a patent with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for a digital currency unit tied to a regular currency. In other words, a stablecoin. Several news reports have noted Walmart's efforts mirror Facebook's own. Both are juggernauts in their respective markets. Both are trying to build a stablecoin. Both are marketing it as a solution for low-income households that find banking to be expensive. But barring these superficial similarities, there's little to suggest that the two projects will actually look alike in structure. Unlike Libra, Walmart's coin could be bought and potentially even backed by Bitcoin, according to the patent. Pretty interesting. That's what I found to be the most interesting about this article. And, obviously it's interesting that, what they mentioned here, that, both Libra and Walmart's coin would be aiming to go after, to provide, this service to low-income households on, as a result of it being expensive to utilize banks for people. I found it to be interesting. So it was my first time back in the U.S. in a little bit. Had to go to the bank. And some of the services that they used to do at the bank, they don't no longer do. So I lost a debit card. I had to get a new debit card made. They didn't even do it inside the bank anymore. And then when I walked in the bank, they were trying to kind of train people to get used to using the new kiosks in there. So what it seems like, obviously, again, for these physical banks who have these like a lot of real estate that they've got to pay for every single month at all the different branches and locations, you can see that obviously that's starting to get quite expensive for banks, and they're trying to find other ways to cut costs. So this is super interesting, and obviously, again, this is what banks seem to be quite scared of, to be honest. These other companies coming in and providing a banking service, because a banking service in a lot of ways just really is a place for you to park your money. The security of having that money be backed by that bank's word that if it were to get stolen and it's not your fault, that they'll help to replenish that. Obviously, those are the kind of things that average, normal, everyday people are utilizing within banks currently, and that is obviously what they want to some extent, which is why I think a lot of these larger companies are obviously trying to make cryptos that are tied to a dollar or act as sort of a stable coin, which is quite interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because obviously banks don't like this, of course. I mean, how could they like it? It seems that these other companies can provide similar banking services to the masses at a lower cost to the end user. And for banks, that's obviously scary, because if people don't have their money parked in the banks, it makes it really hard for a bank to operate. So what is Walmart coin? The majority of the patent is written in the conditional tense, leaving plenty up to interpretation and imagination. Walmart coin, or whatever they're calling it. If they call them Wallies, I'm gonna be so mad, guys. May be pegged to the U.S. dollar and available for use only at selected retailers or partners. According to the patent filing, this last bit about selected partners is only because of how Libra works. So, I mean, obviously, again, large corporate entities such as Walmart, such as Starbucks, all these different, gigantic multinational corporations are and have allowed people to, sort of use points or to get gift cards. So they're already using something that, like, if they could make the experience similar for people who are shopping in these places. Obviously, the difference is, there's no blockchain aspect to how those point systems work. So if you were to come on and your points were just gone, do you have recourse in the same way to be able to prove that you had those points if they're not on blockchain? So it seems like a natural fit that obviously a lot of these corps would be trying to adjust their strategy to, provide these things in a similar way and have a similar user experience. In other embodiments, digital currency is available for use anywhere. The digital currency can provide a fee-free or fee-minimal place to store wealth that can be spent, for example, at retailers, and, if needed, easily converted to cash. This means a Walmart coin, unlike Libra, has the opportunity to accrue interest and could be held at retailers on behalf of users. So if it could accrue interest, that's going to be interesting, right? To see who can actually get access to that interest. Can everybody? Do they have to do a KYC first? Is it only going to be, certain retailers who can get it? Obviously, these are a lot of questions that are yet to be answered, and they wrote what they put out thus far to be sort of, not hyper detailed, so that it leaves room to make adjustments kind of based on the feedback that they're getting. But nonetheless, guys, obviously, again, this is yet another clear proof that tokenization and transferring, money and currency in a similar fashion to the way, user experience is right now, let's say with sending EOS or EOS-based tokens, for example, where it's instant, feeless, fairly simple to do so. Clearly, this is another validation that tokenization is obviously legit and legitimized, and is a much better way to move around and transact for means of exchange. Like Facebook, Walmart really wants you and your neighborhood regulators to view this initiative as a force for good. The second line of patent's detailed description says Walmart coin can be beneficial to financially disenfranchised populations as an alternative way to handle wealth at an institution that can supply the majority of the day-to-day financial transactions product needs. Okay. Obviously, again, I don't want you guys to get the impression as I'm reading this that, I'm cheering for Walmart to pull this off. Obviously, again, have I shopped at Walmart as being an American? Of course. Probably more than I'd want to admit, at least growing up. I haven't in a very long time. But what they're doing, obviously trying to have it be, a stable coin is something that they're, betting and banking on the US dollar. And these corporations, they're trying to position things in, a way that it's for good and things like that. But obviously Walmart, we've got to be careful, I believe, with companies like Walmart and Facebook, because they don't have the greatest track record. In Walmart, for example, it's no secret why a company like Walmart is, obviously a big lobbyer for things like minimum wage, because it kills competition. It kills lower sized businesses and medium-sized businesses, and allows companies like Walmart and Amazon to sort of suck up the existing retail and purchasing that's happening within communities by kicking out, the middle and the small guy. So I think we've really got to keep an eye on Walmart and some of these companies. Again, Walmart's coin would have to do something probably special for it to be something that you'd want and want to use there. But hard to say. But nonetheless, it's interesting, and this is clear evidence that this stuff's going to continue to roll out. And there's going to be, the biggest companies and corporations in the world, not only in America, but all across the world, that want to get involved in this and want to try to be a leader or capture that value as money moves its way out of traditional banks for the average people and into other assets that people seem to value more and maybe have a better experience on. Nonetheless, guys, I could read this entire article to you guys, but I can put the link below for anybody who wants to read it next. Either way, have an awesome day, guys. I got more content coming. Super excited about some really interesting updates, all across the crypto space that I'm keen to talk about. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, comment below, and I'll see you guys next time.